Hello everybody, welcome back to Dominions 5. We're back in the tournament, round 1, playing as Ellie Man, and we are taking the last throne that is yet unclaimed. So let's take a look at the battle. This throne was slightly softened up by the most powerful SC, which was a lumber construct from Tianchi last turn. He only really killed a few of these will-o'-the-wisps. So let's zoom out and we'll just do the theatrical version here. So, as you can see, success. The only casualties were some of our shamblers, not our shamblers, some of our corpse constructs that were in front. They did their duty. They blocked the incoming enemy. And we also took a bit of friendly fire here with our gifts from heaven, which is typical. And now we've got the Solar Serpent, who's still got regeneration and 113 hit points. But we're slowly picking away at him. 14 hit points left, and there he goes. What are we still fighting? Just like some random militia? Okay. Done. So we lost 1 warden, we lost 25 corpse constructs, and then we only lost 5 defenders, 1 shambler, and 2 wardens. So pretty successful. This is exactly how I was hoping it would happen. We didn't deplete any of our valuable troops. Okay. That's it for the fights. So let's look at the map here. Okay, we are claiming the throne, building a palisades, building a lab, getting our infrastructure here up as fast as possible. We are going to retake this province next turn, just with a few units and a few bows of war. Okay, what are we crafting? Cornucopia, Storm in a Bottle, Moonvine Bracelet. So this is just more... we're getting our nature kits up and running, and we're doing more temporary gem gen items. Just continuing in that vein. I have switched now to recruiting knights. So in terms of diplomacy, at this point, there was talk between me and Tianchi, like it was a little awkward. And I guess I'll be revealing my true intentions now to general confusion, who's the player who's playing Tianchi. But as I explained, I think in the last episode, Tianchi here has to choose between attacking Patala, obviously not alone. He would do it with the collaboration of Atlantis and hopefully of me. And by attacking Patala, even though Patala is huge, 3v1, obviously we could take him. And by doing so, we would take one of these thrones, and that would delay the end of the game. And therefore, that would give all the players involved a chance to secure either first or second position. And it's either that, or the non-Patala players fight amongst themselves for second place, right? And for me, the biggest threat to me not getting second place is Tianchi. If Atlantis attacks me, first of all, I happen to have a huge army here. But if Atlantis attacks me, he's not going to take my thrones. Like if Atlantis attacks me, and by the way, I'm assuming, so they don't necessarily know this, but I'm in cahoots with Patala. So from my point of view, first of all, if Atlantis attacks me, Patala attacks him, and then the game ends, right? But now that I have this throne secured, I'm basically in a winning condition because it is not going to be Patala attacking me. It's going to be Patala attacking Atlantis. And as long as I can keep these two thrones, then I come out second. And that is good enough for me. So what is the only risk to me? It's that Tianxi takes these thrones. And so my only real enemy at this point is Tianxi. And so I'm actually secretly hoping that we do go to war, that he tries to fight me. I think right now I'm in a great position versus Tianxi. And I think I'll talk about that a bit later, but let's finish diplomatically. I kind of want to go to war with Tianxi. But if I just declare that I want to go to war with Tianxi, then that completely, officially, openly announces that I'm not on board with this coalition stuff. And the longer they are in the dark about this, the better, because they're making the wrong decisions, right? They're making decisions assuming that they're going to have this big coalition to fight against Patala. And whatever strategic decisions they're making with that kind of game outcome. But what's actually going to happen is Patala is just going to invade Atlantis, and then the game will end. So in these, negotiations going on in Discord, I have to be kind of feigning, like I kind of have to sound like I don't want him to attack me, but secretly I kind of do want him to attack me. So that's the state of diplomacy, like right at this exact moment. And in fact, it goes one step further. At the end of this turn, if I remember my timing correctly, Tianxi tells me that he will not, in fact, end our nap. So he decides that he thinks he should fight Patala. And I'm sure he's done this I'm sure he's on board with Atlantis in this, right? He's not just going to try to go at it alone. So ironically, this is not what I wanted, right? Normally I'd be like, oh, phew, right? Thank goodness. But no, this is not what I want. I actually want to have war here. But the thing is, I'm fine with waiting a couple of turns just so I can get a fort up here. So I just started a fort. Now, I could have used earth gems to make a fort instantly. But this situation gives me a couple of time because we have a nap 3. So once my fort is like 2 turns built, I could end my nap with Tianxi. And then when the war starts, I'll have a fort on top of this province. And really the only thing that's left to say here is, well, okay, let me just look at our research. So I had queued up Conjuration 6. There's an awkward tech to end on. Really what I want is Conjuration 7. Incidentally, not only for the Ivy Kings, but in battle, Living Clouds is going to be fun to cast. I guess Living Earth too. But first we're grabbing Alteration 8, because that is for Will of the Fates, a very important spell for humans. And then we're going to go back and get Conjuration 7. Then we're finally going to dig down into Thaumaturgy. I've done very little research in Thaumaturgy, and I want to get down to Enslaved Mind, which is just a logical thing to get if you have Astral Mages in a communion. So we're going to do that. And then we've queued up Alteration 9, obviously for Army of Gold and Army of Lead. I was talking about Wizard's Tower. I don't even have Wizard's Tower. So it goes to show I couldn't have Wizard towered up this province even if I had wanted to. Okay, why do I feel so confident against Tianchi? Well, honestly, I haven't seen much from him. All I see is archers and barbarian heavy horsemen. Now, he has... these are his mages. Okay, he's got a few Masters of the Way as just sort of like researchers mostly. Some of these guys are going to be communion slaves. In theory, some of these are going to be water nature. He has other mages, could do foul vapors, but we're going to have Serpent's Blessing, so we'll be fine. We've got poison resist. That's pretty much it. Water mages alone are maybe going to do like Frozen Heart, which is a decent evocation spell for a Water 1 mage in Alteration 6, but we'll have cold resist. So, yeah, well, that'll be somewhat negated. Okay, there are 3 kinds of Ancestor Smiths. Let's look at them. So there's the Earth one, Earth Death. Now, this, obviously if it's Earth, he can do all the necessary Earth buffs. Theoretically, there could be Earthquake traps. Now we have, so that's actually something interesting. There theoretically could be Earthquake traps. This is something I haven't thought of doing, but I might change my current turn to forge a few items to let some of my mages cast Mass Flight on the first turn and get it off before Earthquake comes. Let me just double check that. So Earthquake in Evocation, casting time 200. But if we go in Enchantment, Mass Flight, casting time 175. Okay, so I don't even need to necessarily make a speedy hat, which is good because the mages that would do this would probably want to wear an air hat. Okay, this is something I should consider doing, which I haven't done yet, but it's to get Air 3 mage with an air hat to make him Air 4 and have him cast Mass Flight. Actually, technically, an Air... Sorry for the loud beep here. Technically, an Air 3 with gems could do it. That would kind of kill his fatigue, though. Yeah, that's something I have to make sure I script in my battles, because we might be facing Earthquake traps. Other than that, let's go back. So these guys are Earth Death. They can have Astral. Importantly here, there is Death Air, so he could technically do Wailing Winds. Let's look at the other guys. Here he's got a Nature 2 with some Death. Again, Death Air is a possibility. Earth Nature, so he can do all the nature buffs if he wants to. And then we have the actual Air Death dude. So Wailing Winds is, for sure a thing that we should expect Wailing Winds. And then other random cross paths. And then he's got the Cat Mage. This one is mainly a water mage with some random paths. There's air magic here, there's some death, there's some air, there's some earth. I'm not seeing anything. Honestly, Wailing Winds is going to be the nastiest thing to deal with. Plus random air magic, right? Air elementals, storm, thunder strikes, those are going to be annoying. And then, of course, in death, he's going to summon a ton of his little ghosts, and they're going to be blessed with his thunder weapons and twist fate. So that's what I have to deal with. But his basic units, even if he buffs them, first of all, I think his research is far behind mine. I don't think he has access to all of these buffs, all the late game buffs. But these units are not as good as my units. So he's just got regular archers. So normally we say archers beat crossbows, but that's regular crossbows. Our crossbows have tower shields and heavy armor. So his archers are literally completely 100% useless against me. The Barbarian Heavy Cav has a composite bow, again, completely useless against me. And then it's just kind of like a medium heavy cav, right? 15-15. He has a lot of it, but it's going to be inferior. Honestly, my heavy infantry fully buffed will be fine against it. but even if it's not, that's why we're going to switch to recruiting our own heavy cav. So from now on, both in the capital and everywhere where we are recruiting troops, we're switching to our own heavy cav, because our heavy horsemen are better. Better protection, better defense. They're more expensive, but unit for unit, they are better. And I think we just have a larger mage corps, and we're just going to be able to out-mage him. So I'm confident about this upcoming conflict. And that is that. So let me just go through the next couple of turns. That was turn 49. Let's go to turn 50. See if anything happens here. Oh, we lost a few defenders. We cleared out these Bloodhenge Druids. Nothing happens here. We found a couple of magic sites here as we searched the throne. We found a Mirror Lake. This allows us to recruit illusionists, which are normally very good units. This is incidentally like the first air gem income I have in like 40 turns. And then we found more death gems. This incidentally is the golden throne, so it gives us gold income, which is nice, and also allows us to recruit these fantastic fellows. Fire Astral. Okay, we are doing what? This is basically the only province that we have to look at each turn, because this is where everything happens. I've decided to summon a Lich to get some higher death access. I'm forging some gate cleavers, and the notion here is we're going to, even though we're going to attack with a few Magisters here, which have siege bonus, here in this army, and here we'll move these Magisters here, to attack with them. This army doesn't really have a lot of Magisters. We're going to give it a bit more wall-breaking strength with the gate cleavers. The gate cleavers are honestly good on anybody to just kill some special units like because they're armor negating. So I'm going to probably use the gate cleavers, if I have to, because we'll have flying, to attack his statue and things like that. Now, getting the unit there might be tricky, but that's the idea. They'll probably stay in the back and be on hold and attack closest to deal with air elementals. So I'm going to build a few melee kitted out wardens just to patrol around my units and deal with incoming air elementals. I've got a random squad of flagellants, which is, I guess, nice. Okay, that was turn 50. Let's load up turn 51. We're forging an air hat for Patala. And then there's some minor fighting going on now between Patala and Tianqi. Ulm has been defeated. We got a heroic commander here. She's sacred. She's got recuperation, reduces unrest. Sure, not good enough to be a thug, but what do you want? A dire portent. So Tianqi has cast Gale Gate, and he overwrote what did he overwrite? Stellar Focus, the small astral gem global that Patala had up. I think this is actually good news. In order for this to go up successfully, he knew that the slots were full, so he had to know to overcast something. Now, if he was gambling, he would have put in just barely over, right? If he assumed that we had all put minimal gems in all of these globals, then maybe he would have put I don't know, 20, 30 overcast, right? That would have been really lucky. More likely than not, he put 50, 100 overcast, which means he dumped anywhere between 150 to 200 air gems in this, I have to assume. And Gale Gate gives you air gems, but he's in the time, we're going to fight, I think, in the next few turns. In fact, if you read the message here, we just send him a message and we are now officially ending the nap. So hostile orders are going to be issued on turn 54, and battles occur on turn 55. So I think it's going to be tight, but I don't think he's going to come into his investment here with this global, depending how much he put into it. Yeah. So what are we forging this turn? More gen items. We're making the hat for our friend. We have Conjuration 7, so we're making our Ivy Kings, and we're continuing down our Conjuration, our Thaumaturgy, and then we're going to go to Alteration 9. That's 51. Let me bring up turn 52 quickly, and I think we'll end then. The current turn is turn 53, which I'm currently working on. Another small battle here. Nature Gems +2, some Unrest, and that's it. Okay, and what are we doing here? Cloak, staff, whatever. We're forging more stuff. I'm forging some firebrands. This is part of my notion to have some melee kitted wardens. Our palisades will be up next turn. We have a few more items that we need to make. I am moving, consolidating all the mages and all the troops into this province. Since this is the weakest of my 3 armies, this army and this army and this army, I'm sending my current reinforcements from the capital up here. And that is basically that. I guess the last thing we could do before we end is let's look at the score graphs, because we have been infiltrating other... looks like we haven't gotten anything new recently in Tianqi, actually, so maybe this isn't as useful as I thought it would be. I wanted to look at army size. Yeah, our army size has been increasing pretty nicely, but it's Tianqi's that I wish I could see. So, oh well, we don't have that useful information that I thought we might. Okay, that's going to be it for now, guys. There are some things that I've realized now that I've done this recording that I need to make, including provisions for fighting against earthquake traps and a few other things. So I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, that's it for now. Take care.